Is Missouri Congressman Mark Alford. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Your reaction to Iowa?
Well, Maria, this was a resounding victory. This was a Trump slide, if you will, instead of a landslide. This is a Trumpicane. President Trump is about to take America by storm. This is further proof that this is the person, this is the man that we need in the Oval Office, someone who can sit behind that resolute desk and be a resolute leader. He is showing stamina. He's going to be back in court today and then on to New Hampshire. He is not letting up. He is going full throttle, and I know he's showing a stark contrast between himself and the feckless, flailing president who is now in the Oval Office.
Well, Congressman, I want to get your take on the business at hand in the Congress. House Speaker Mike Johnson reportedly told lawmakers that he opposes the Senate border deal. Oklahoma Senator James Lankford has been negotiating this deal. He's encouraging everybody to read the bill before they judge it, saying people should not believe everything they read on the internet. But we've got the details here. What he's referring to is the Immigration Accountability Project. Somebody leaked a draft version of the bill and warned that it would increase green card handouts to $50,000 a year, give work permits to every illegal release from custody. Congressman, what are your thoughts on this deal where apparently you've got to have 5,000 illegals come into America before you actually have new regulation on immigration?
Maria, this deal is dead on arrival in the U.S. House of Representatives. First off, they should have been negotiating with Mike Johnson. They shouldn't have been doing this behind closed doors in the U.S. Senate. We passed H.R. 2 more than 7 months ago, and they've been sitting on it. It has a Remain in Mexico policy. It reforms our asylum. It gives a raise to our Border Patrol agents. It finishes the wall that Trump started. This is a non-starter. We don't need a Band-Aid approach to the national border security crisis this Biden administration created. We need a tourniquet before our nation bleeds to death with illegal immigration.
Well, there's supposed to be a Senate procedural vote on a short-term continuing resolution today to fund the government past Friday's deadline. Otherwise, we are expecting a partial government slowdown. Without an agreement on timing, this process could take us all the way up until Sunday, which does mean a partial shutdown. What are you expecting?
Well, look, there may be enough votes to get this through. I am a no on a continuing resolution. I told you this summer, as I was talking with then the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, I was good for 1 CR, and I did my duty to help get that passed back in August. Since then, Maria, we have wasted 125 days in Congress. That's the time that they have sent us home where we could have been working on getting these appropriation bills done. We have 4 left. We're almost there, over the hump. And yet we're not getting our job done. Why is that? And why is no border security bill attached to the continuing resolution? This is unacceptable. To keep kicking this can down the road, I won't be a part of it.
So what happened? The Republicans took the whole border leverage off the table?
Well, we were hoping that it would be on there. Just 2 weeks ago, we were down on the border, 60 of us, including Mike Johnson. We were hoping that some sort of border security would be attached to this continuing resolution, at least to give it some gumption that the American people could swallow, because we know that not just is our national debt an existential threat to our nation, but so is this illegal migration, the illegal alien situation that the Biden administration has created. Some 8.5 million illegal aliens into our sovereign nation. If these are not attached, I think it's going to be a non-starter for a lot of Republicans.
Okay. And then, of course, there are 2 wars that we're all watching, death and destruction. The U.S. Navy has announced that it has seized Iranian weapons that were headed for Yemen. There's been at least 30 attacks of commercial vessels by Houthi rebels since November 19th in the Red Sea. 137 attacks on U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria since October 17th, Congressman. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was released from the hospital yesterday. 24 of those attacks happened while Austin was actually hospitalized. He says he's now working remotely. What should we think about potential responses here to the Iranian-backed militia groups? Your thoughts on these attacks on U.S. forces in the Middle East?
Well, this is more of a show of weakness from the Biden administration, just like he did with Afghanistan, just like he did with Putin, like he's doing with Xi Jinping. This weakness does not invite a victory for the United States and our interest in our allies. It invites bullies like Iran, Islamic terrorists, to continue to fund groups like Hamas and the Houthis, to take advantage, disrupt our economic situation through that part of the nation, the world. And we don't need a Secretary of State who's part-time. Look, I pray for the healing of Secretary of Defense Austin, but I think it's time for him to go. He has not shown trustworthiness in concealing his cancer diagnosis, especially from the President of the United States. Look, I'm not surprised that the president did not know where Secretary of Defense was for several days. I don't think the president knows himself where he is half the time. But that is not an excuse. We need a Secretary of Defense who can do the job and show strength on the world stage.
Well, I mean, you make a good point. If, in fact, they were having meetings on all of these attacks on U.S. forces since October 17th, they would have noticed that Defense Secretary was not in the room.
Yeah, it's pretty self-evident. But here's the deal, Maria. I don't think Joe Biden's running the White House. I think someone else is. I think he has checked out. If you look at him on video and listen to him talk, he is clearly not present. Whoever's running the White House needs to get their head out, and they need to make sure that our nation is defended, our allies are defended, and we can truly make America great again. That's not going to happen, unfortunately, unless we get President Trump back in the White House.
Okay, Congressman, we'll be watching that.